Hello everyone, my name is Sung-Bae Lim. I'm a professor of St. Mary University, Texas, America. It is my great honor and pleasure to be with you and then to share my thought with you. Especially, I deeply appreciate Dr. Osum Lopez Varela for inviting me, and then I deeply appreciate your leadership for Eurasia Foundation project. The topic of my lecture is Blockchain for Sustainable Development Goals. To cover this topic, I'm going to focus on three issues. The first is about the concept of blockchain. And the second is about the meaning of Sustainable Development Goals. And then finally, I will share the idea about how we can apply blockchain technology to achieve each goal of Sustainable Development Goal 2030 set by the United Nations. Before I talk about main topics, I want to talk about one sculpture which was made by Michelangelo called Pieta at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican. When Michelangelo presented this sculpture, the initial reaction from people was not really positive, although it was made by great Michelangelo. The reason is the unbalance between Jesus and Saint Mary's in terms of size. When Jesus died, he was at the age of 33. That means he should look bigger than his mom, Saint Mary's. That's why people's initial reaction was not really positive. However, Michelangelo explained how. What he says, think about for whom I made this sculpture. I made this not for the people, but for the God in the heaven. So I consider the angle from God's eye like this. If you look at this from the top, from God's eye, it looks very natural. So I'm talking about this one because of one idea I want to emphasize. Before blockchain, you look at the world from this angle. And then when you apply blockchain, you should take another angle like this one. That means using blockchain, you can explain changing world from totally different, totally creative viewpoint. Now let's talk about what is blockchain. So when it comes to the component of blockchain, blockchain is composed of many existing technologies, most of which are decades old. So for example, asymmetric encryption was invented in 1997. And then key algorithm for mining, which is called proof of work, was developed in 1997 or so. So like the case of iPhone, almost all technology for blockchain were existing one. As you know, iPhone also composed of all the existing technology, such as camera, telephone, navigation. Everything inside iPhone was existing one. So Steve Jobs just combined existing technologies with a creative mindset. Same thing happened to blockchain. So depends on what perspective you have, blockchain can be defined differently. Some people approach blockchain as a distributed ledger, which record all the transactions. In blockchain network, all nodes in the network share same ledger and periodically synchronize it. It's like, all of you share same Excel file, and then whenever there is a transaction, all of you record it together. And then some people approach blockchain as an internet of value. So as a matter of fact, internet we are right now using has a serious limitation. When it comes to information exchange, internet is great. But when it comes to monetary exchange, internet has a lot of problem because of double spending issue. If you have $100, for example, you should be able to use $100 only once. But in the internet world, you can use same digital money again by making digital twin. So that is called the double spending issue. Because of double spending, internet couldn't handle monetary transaction well. I know some of you believe you transfer money using internet technology. You can have that kind of perception, but as a matter of fact, you didn't do it. Actually, you request the transaction through internet network to your bank, and the bank process it and then just show the result to you through the internet. However, if you use blockchain technology, you can exchange the value, specifically cryptocurrency such as Bitcoin, and then you can exchange everything you can imagine digitally without worry about illegal copies. That's why blockchain is called Internet of Value. A good example explaining the concept of Internet of Value is NFT, which stands for non-fungible token. Using NFT, you can tell the originality of digital asset in virtual world. So for example, this picture called Disaster Girl is a widely shared photograph of a young girl staring into the camera while a house was burned behind her. So the girl in the photo, Jewelworth, was 4 years old when the photo was taken in 2005. And then this picture became very famous and become a meme. And then the original copy was sold for $470,000 at auction on April 29, 2021. Because her dad can verify originality of the digital image he took by using NFT, he could sell this picture for almost $500,000. As this case tell, using NFT, which is a kind of service from Ethereum blockchain, you can tell the originality of digital asset you have, even when there is a limited number of digital twins. So that's why NFT is a good example of Internet of Value. When you have something valuable in the internet, like a virtual space, for example, you can tell the originality of the digital asset you own by using NFT. And another perspective about the meaning of a blockchain is a P2P network. So P2P means there is nothing like the role of a third party at the center, such as bank in banking network. So because there is nobody controlling at the center, it's a very democratic environment. Everybody on the network has the same power, same authority, and that they are all connected together. And that this kind of network is called a peer-to-peer network. Now let's talk about how blockchain work. So explaining how blockchain work is not easy task. So there are many approaches, and then among them, I believe explaining blockchain in terms of distributed ledger system is the best way to understand blockchain technology. Let's assume there are only two users, Bob, Alex. And then Bob borrowed $55 from Alex. So both Bob and Alex has a ledger, and then they wrote 55, 55, as you can see from this picture. And then suddenly Alex become bad guy, and then intentionally add additional digit right here, and then saying, Bob, you borrowed $155 from me. You are telling a lie. As a matter of fact, Bob just borrowed $55, but there is no way to prove that he borrowed only $55 from Alex. How about this case? If there are three users updating same ledger together, in this case, Paul can be a witness saying, Alex, you are wrong. Actually, Bob just borrowed only $55 from you. So because of Paul, Bob can tell the truth. However, what happens if there is a conspiracy between Alex and Paul? Alex offered Paul sharing additional income $100, half and half, and then Paul can tell a lie together saying, Bob, you are wrong. You borrowed $155. In this case, truth is what Bob tells, $55. But if both Alex and Paul tell a lie, there is no way to overcome that. How about if there is 6 users? Suddenly, this means asking other network members with the ledger tell a lie suddenly cost a lot, and then nothing to share. When Alex and Paul share $100, they can have 50 and 50. But if there is additional 5, suddenly it becomes $20. But still Bob try to persuade Paul, Arthur, Brian, Alicia tell a lie, but it's not easy job. How about this case? If there are this much networked users which all share same ledger, it is not economical to persuading all other members tell a lie. So this is the power of blockchain. Because everybody shares same ledger updated together, it's not possible to tell a lie. Even it is possible, cost should be higher than benefit. So everybody will work very honestly. That's why people saying blockchain is a network of trust. So there has been evolution of blockchain technology. Blockchain era 1 is about Bitcoin, which is a cryptocurrency solely focusing on exchange, just transaction only, just like a Bitcoin. And then blockchain 2.0 is about Ethereum. Using Ethereum, you can use smart contract. Under certain condition, which is predefined, certain action can taken automatically. So that is called a smart contract. And then now we are living on the era of blockchain 3.0, which talk about something beyond transaction. So blockchain can be used not only for transaction but also for all kind of purposes we can imagine with creativity. So for this one, we have concept called decentralized application. As you install application on your smartphone, you can install application on blockchain network such as Ethereum network. Circle at the center is an Ethereum network, for example. And then on this network, you can launch your own application. So application on decentralized network. That's why it is called DApp, decentralized applications. So Ethereum is a good example. On the Ethereum, you can develop whatever application you want to make and then launch on Ethereum, and it will run. So that's why Ethereum network is called Ethereum virtual machine. On the global scale Ethereum virtual machine, you can launch your own application, which is called DApp, stand for decentralized application. So because of this kind of characteristic, now you can imagine the characteristic of blockchain. And then as a result of study for many years, I could summarize the benefit of using blockchain just like this one. So when you need this kind of characteristic, you should consider using blockchain, such as transparency, security, integrity of data, democratic governance system, cost reduction, token economy, fair wealth distribution, identity, such as decentralized identification, smart contract, traceability, collaboration efficacy, distributed ledger technology, and then triple ledger system. And then I thought one more step, how I can explain this one more simply. And then I prepare this slide. Why people feel very difficult about applying blockchain technology? Because they focus on product and service too much. As you know, the first commercial application of blockchain was Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a new service. So Bitcoin has a lot of contribution in terms of advertising blockchain, but it narrowed down our focus in terms of application of blockchain. We should think about something beyond transaction or something beyond product service, which is a process innovation and a business model. Using blockchain, you can improve existing way of handling your task. And then using blockchain, we can create new business model. So in summary, we should approach blockchain as a social technology, which can change our society, better place to live together. Now let's switch our focus on sustainable development goal. As a matter of fact, sustainable development goal is not the only initiative about the value we are pursuing. We have corporate social responsibility, which stands for CSR. And then we used to have CSV, which is about creating sharing value, which emphasizes a win-win. If you do responsibility, you will do better business kind of concept. And then also we are focusing a lot recently on ESG, which stands for environment, social, and governance. And UN focus on sustainable development goal. So we call sustainable development goal for 2030. It's a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. It seeks to strengthen universal peace in larger freedom. And this goal consists of 17 detailed goals that define how the global community would work together to tackle poverty, improve lives, and protect the environment. On the screen, you are looking at the original cover of agenda announced by United Nations, which is called the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And then all 17 goals looks like this one. Okay, there are 17 goals. And then depends on perspective, these goals can be grouped differently. And then from my own perspective, I could group these 70 goals into 4 categories. First category is about quality of life. It's about people. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, and clean water and sanitation. And then my second category is about environment, so-called planet. Affordable and clean energy, climate action, life below water, and life on land. And the third category I made is about equal opportunity for prosperity, quality of education, gender equality, decent work and economic growth, and then reduced inequalities. And the last category is about co-evolution through partnership, industry, innovation and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, peace, justice and strong institutions, partnership for the goal. Now you understand the concept of blockchain and then concept of sustainable development goal set by the United Nations. That means we are ready for talking about how we can apply blockchain to support sustainable development goal. I'm going to talk about all 17 goals by using real case for every 17 goal. Let's talk about the first goal, no poverty. Blockchain can support the first goal by making sure there is a fair distribution of the wealth. I believe agri-leisure is a good example. Have you thought about how much money goes to farmers when you purchase a mango? Surprisingly, it used to be 3%. But now, with blockchain introduction in mango supply chain, everything become very transparent. And then, because of that transparency, farmers in IT can get fair amount of revenue they deserve to have. So this is the power of blockchain, overcoming poverty. Blockchain also can provide better standard of life by providing banking service easily. And then when it comes to the second goal, which is zero hunger, we can think about charity foundation. So BitGive is a good example. Think about what is your major concern when you donate money to the charity foundation. In many cases, the money you donate used for administrative cost rather than used by someone who actually need your support. And even in the case that your money delivered at the right person in right situation, that money can be used for wrong purpose, such as drug, alcohol consumption. However, using blockchain, you can do two things. Number one, you can keep track of the usage of your money using traceability power of a blockchain. Secondly, using smart contract of Ethereum like a blockchain 2, you can designate for what purpose your money can be used. You can say your money can be used for water, diaper, milk for baby, not for the drug kind of thing. In this way, you can make sure your money can be used the most valuable purpose. And then third purpose, good health and well-being, we can think of medical system. One of the problem of medical system, regardless of result, you pay the money. When you see the doctor, when you get medical treatment, most people don't have enough knowledge to tell whether doctor's treatment make you better or worse or nothing happen. Regardless of result, you pay the money. But if you adopt blockchain, we can adopt a concept called outcome-based payment. Using smart contract, you can define when you should pay the money and then when you are not supposed to pay the money. This evidence-based payment system can be built by using smart contract function of blockchain. When it comes to quality education, we can think about using blockchain for school bullying prevention. According to the many studies, the best way to prevent school bullying is information sharing. Whenever there is a symptom of school bullying, if we share that information, all the people involved together with anonymity, we can detect school bullying is going to happen and then we can prevent it from happening. Using blockchain, we can connect all together and then we update information all together. In the way we can share important information perfectly and then we can prevent school bullying. Also, using blockchain, we can perfectly protect copyright of teaching material by teachers and professors. In that way, we can motivate educators and the quality of education will be skyrocketed. And then when it comes to gender equality, we can think of financial abuse on women. According to many studies, significantly less percent of women has bank and then using banking system. In the way, male in some country financially abuse women who doesn't have access to the bank. If we use blockchain system like a Bitpurser, we can help women without bank account use something like a banking system running on blockchain so easily. In that way, we can contribute to gender equality. And when it comes to clean water and sanitation, I believe we can use blockchain for expedite project for this purpose. So decentralized water funding is a good example. Using initial coin offering, which is like an IPO in stock market, we can raise money easily. And then using smart contract, we can expedite process or progress of project for better water and then better sanitation. And then using token, we can motivate behavior of users toward better sanitation and then clean water, less contamination kind of thing. And then when it comes to seventh goal, we can think about grid. Think about your case. In many cases, if you have your own solar panel on your house, sometimes you need more than one you generate through solar panel, or sometimes you have too much electricity from your own solar panel. Especially in case that you have extra capacity, you just throw it away nowadays. How about blockchain? If we have a blockchain, we can create power grid running on blockchain system, and then under the system you can tell who has extra capacity and then who has deficient capacity, and then based on that you can trade electricity real time, and then based on the transaction record on blockchain you can easily pay someone who provide extra capacity for the community using cryptocurrency or token from blockchain network. Next goal is decent work and economic growth. I believe a good example for this goal is a ICO and then decentralized application. So as an entrepreneur, if you have a good idea, you can try initial coin offering. So ICO is about how to raise money to launch your own business as an entrepreneur on blockchain network. If you have a good idea, you can write white paper explaining about your creative idea, and then based on that you can raise investment, and then using that money you can launch your own entrepreneurial business on blockchain network by developing decentralized applications. Again, on the blockchain one, which is a Bitcoin, you could do only transaction. That's a limitation of Bitcoin. But now with many advanced blockchain network and then application running on that blockchain network, you can do whatever you imagine so easily using blockchain network. This means you can provide more and more inclusive entrepreneurship to those who doing business in the country which lag behind economically. And then next is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. For this case, I want to talk about NFT one more time. I just talked about disaster ago. So the picture here represents NFT, non-fungible token. Why NFT matter? So think about recent innovation about virtual space, so-called metaverse. Many people says metaverse will be another internet. Meta means beyond, verse universe. So simply beyond the universe you are living in. That means you will have another universe in virtual world, and that is called metaverse. So when it comes to virtual world, there are two limitations. That's why initial trial, such as Second Life kind of a thing, secondlife.com failed because of two limitations. Number one, how you can make a monetary transaction in metaverse. Everything in metaverse is a digital. Any digitalized monetary value can be easily copied and then spent again. So we call double spending issue with the digital copies of monetary values. However, if you adopt blockchain based cryptocurrency, you can make the transaction of a monetary value without worrying about double spending. Secondly, NFT. Let's say you have a very nice house in a metaverse, and inside the house you put very nice looking picture frame with classic artistic work inside it. However, as you know, that can be easily copied. Suddenly you are losing the value. But that's why we have NFT. Using NFT, you can tell the originality of the digital asset you have in metaverse. That's real innovation. And then next is about reduced inequalities. Okay, I want to talk about Facebook version of cryptocurrency, which is called DM. So DM was originally called Libra, and then recently Facebook changed its name to DM. In Latin, DM means a day, right? So think about the case. According to study, there are 3 billion users of Facebook. If Facebook publish its own cryptocurrency, that means 3 billion Facebook users globally located will have another banking account running on Facebook. And then this means we can provide banking capability to the billions of people living in poor country in Africa, for example. It really provides chance to overcome inequalities. Next is about sustainable cities and communities. In this case, I want to talk about blockchain-driven sharing business. As a matter of fact, sharing business is not really sharing business, such as Uber, Airbnb. Their business model is great, but they are just aggregator of demand and supply on virtual platform, not a sharing business. If they are really sharing business, they should enrich provider of extra capacity and the users. But in reality, most of the benefit taken by platform owners. That's a big problem. But if we adopt blockchain technology for sharing business, as shown on this slide, like a BNest, we can make Airbnb without central platform. Using P2P, decentralized network, provider of service and the users of service can directly interact without going through central platforms such as Airbnb and Uber kind of thing. In that way, they don't have to pay commission to the platform owners, and then they can achieve the real meaning of a sharing economy. And the next is responsible consumption and production. So blockchain can have excellent fit with this kind of thing. Now we are focusing a lot about meaningful consumption. So for example, at the coffee shop, you want to make sure you drink a coffee which is made from coffee bean produced without child abuse. Same thing, if you use Everledger blockchain system, you can tell whether diamond you are purchasing was produced and then sold for raising money for warfare. We call blood diamond. Like mining diamond to make money for the war. But if we adopt blockchain for diamond supply chain, we can tell how diamond used. We can avoid blood diamond, which is the price of which is used for war, kind of bad purpose. So using traceability, transparency of blockchain technology, we can easily pursue responsible consumption and production. Next is number 13, climate action. So blockchain can play a key role for many initiatives for this action. I believe regenerative agriculture is a good example. Okay? So key critical success factor of the initiative for climate action such as regenerative agriculture is how we can motivate those who make contribution to this initiative. Using blockchain, like the example of chain link network on the picture, we can keep track of the contribution of farmers. And then using smart contract, we can pay the award by using token or cryptocurrency to farmers automatically using smart contract function of blockchain technology. So when it comes to regeneration agriculture, they capture the progress of that initiative by using satellite. And the satellite data is fed into blockchain network. And then based on that, using smart contract, so depends on individual contribution to regenerative agriculture, each farmer will be awarded a certain number of cryptocurrency, maybe Bitcoin. Okay? In that way, we can really motivate players for this kind of action very efficiently and effectively, and result in good expedite performance. And then number 40 is about life below water. Nowadays, we are concerned about whether we are doing meaningful consumption. And then in that regard, we really concerned about whether the fish we are consuming fed with environmentally friendly food or not. Using blockchain, you can trace how fish was raised in the farm, and then you can see transparently. In the way, you can make sure you consume fish which was raised environmentally friendly food. And then this really motivate the farmers to use environment friendly food only to raise their fish. Number 15 is life on land. So similar idea. When you consume product, you can keep track about what kind of land resource was used in what method so easily by using blockchain technology. So for example, when you purchase a cloth with blockchain tag, by scanning tag, you can easily tell what kind of chemical was used, what is the impact of production of this cloth on our environment, our resource on land. You can tell so easily. In the way, you can motivate producer to use more eco-friendly resource. And then number 16 is about peace, justice, and strong institution. I believe when it comes to this one, blockchain can do very powerful role. Why? Blockchain really guarantee better governance by utilizing its characteristics such as transparency, smart contract, and then democratic decision-making process, and so on. I think a good example is a politician from England, Callaway. So Callaway ran for the mayor position of London, and then he promised to open his budget usage transparently by using blockchain technology. And then he claimed himself as a blockchain mayor. Although he lost the election, I think what he tried is very meaningful. The last goal is a partnership for the goal. I believe blockchain can make greatest contribution on number 17. So by nature, blockchain can maximize collaboration efficacy. Because of transparency, blockchain can remove piggyback kind of approach by citizen. Secondly, blockchain can be used as an incentive by using token economy. Whenever there is a voluntary work done by community member, their voluntary work can be compensated by token. And then because of a democratic decision-making process with high level of transparency, and then decentralized network attribute, so blockchain-driven decision-making can be accepted as a very fair decision, and then let people collaborate together to achieve the goal which was decided blockchain-driven fair decision-making. Today, we thought about 3 topics: the concept of the blockchain, and then the concept of the Sustainable Development Goal 2030 set by the United Nations. And then lastly, we thought about how we can leverage blockchain technology to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. I now hope you have some idea about how you can apply blockchain technology to make our world a better place to live together. As I emphasized at the beginning, blockchain is a tool which can help you develop your own perspective. I wish all of you understand blockchain and then understand how to develop creative solution by using your own perspective. Thank you very much.